Everything we know so far about Street Fighter 6. It can be difficult to strike the appropriate balance between traditional fighting game elements and more contemporary versions of the genre, but Street Fighter does so with elegance and panache. Here, utilizing the dirty techniques made accessible with its new technologies is just as crucial as having an airtight, traditional game making way for both practical and strategic expertise. With Street Fighter 6, the iconic fighting game fully makes a comeback. Ryu, Chun-Li, and other new and old acquaintances figure prominently, and the visuals have been completely updated. Additionally, it's timely because the Street Fighter franchise, which celebrates turning 35 this year, is gearing up for a major resurgence. Street Fighter V came out back in 2016. Street Fighter 6 doesn't have a release date as yet, but Capcom has provided a general timeline. The game will be released in the summer of 2023, the publisher said during Sony's State of Play event in June 2022. The release date is undoubtedly liable to change as well because Capcom may encounter unforeseen difficulties during production or the world may experience further challenges due to the pandemic. Despite the fact that Street Fighter V was a console-only release for the PlayStation, Street Fighter 6 will have a much wider audience in addition to a PC version because Capcom decided to release the game on PC, PS4, PS5, and neither will Xbox Series X and S. Xbox be forgotten this time. While crossplay between PC and PlayStation gamers is possible in SF5, SF6 inclusion is not yet confirmed. We're crossing our fingers that it doesn't because that would undoubtedly contribute to the game's longevity in the weeks and years that follow its release. Few people are aware that because Street Fighter 4 was placed between Street Fighter 2 and 3, Street Fighter performed the Fast and Furious timeline jumping plot first. Although the new game's timeline jumps to after Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 5 was a progression of Street Fighter 4, with some reports claiming series staple Ken is undergoing a divorce father phase. While Ryu is getting closer than ever before to achieving his goal of martial arts mastery, this paves the way for probably the largest personality shifts we've seen so far. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. How it is designed. Many fans were unhappy by what seemed to be a somewhat basic and dull logo when Street Fighter 6 was first announced, but the graphic design used in the game is undoubtedly far more beautiful and moving, with SF4 focusing on paints and inks and Street Fighter V using water throughout techniques, supers, victory sequences, and more. The last few Street Fighter games have employed special influence for their art designs. In order to make the game's colors stand out, Street Fighter 6 uses an art style that is influenced by graffiti, continuing the trend of stylization. The distinct control schemes and exact execution standards needed for special moves might be one of the major entry hurdles for fighting games. By implementing a contemporary control scheme where you'll be able to execute special moves with just a single press and a directional cue, Street Fighter 6 seeks to do away with those problems. Target combinations will also be considerably simpler to execute, while gamers who like the traditional 6-button control scheme can still use it, in either case having more options ought to draw in more participants. To set themselves apart from the other Street Fighter titles, the majority of mainstream Street Fighter titles concentrate on one significant gameplay element or gimmick. The drive system, which combines a variety of distinct systems, is the novelty in question for Street Fighter 6. All things considered, the drive system appears to be a celebration of many of the elements that have previously graced Street Fighter. There are 5 distinct motions in the drive system. Overdrive is a basic move that works similarly to EX moves from earlier Street Fighter versions. Drive parries are effectively Street Fighter 3's attacks, while drive rushes let you bridge the gap after shots or regular attacks. Drive impact lets you withstand an assault while releasing your own, very akin to SF4's focus attacks, which will cost more of your drive meter. And last but not least, drive reversal allows players to retaliate after defending, much like 5's reversals from SF5. The World Tour feature may be Street Fighter 6's biggest addition, but Capcom is keeping quiet about the specifics of it. According to what we've seen so far, World Tour involves players designing their own unique identity, visiting a metro city and possibly other locals, engaging in combat with other avatars, and striking shoryukens. Building on the World Tour option, Battle Hub appears to be the next step in online lobbies, allowing players to build unique characters and enter enormous gathering spaces where they can socialize, challenge one another to games, and form platform rivalries. Similar to World Tour, Capcom is being coy about the full scope of the mode right now, but you should anticipate scouring the hub for fights. This information is for you if you enjoy the minor amusing aspects in your fighting games like the die-hard SF fans do. You can press various buttons to make goofy gestures at your rivals during the loading screens in versus matches, which have the two avatars confronting one another. The Game Face feature, which is similar to Soul Calibur 2, allows you to hit buttons to mock your adversary during versus displays. People will like this funny feature as they prepare for a match. Whether it's a cocky smirk or some malicious mocking, real-time commentary, another brand new element to be found in Street Fighter 6, allows real-time fighting game commenters Jeremy Vicious Lopax in English and Aru in Japanese are guaranteed to contribute their voices to the game and remark on bouts as they occur and explain strategy.
The damage starts to pile up on both fighters. Gets the parry in and adds some pressure. Their life is looking critical, and they can't rely too much on KO.
It is not surprising that Street Fighter 6 is being developed in Capcom's RE engine, since this engine has been used for the majority of Capcom's current AAA titles such as Resident Evil Village, Devil May Cry 5, and Monster Hunter Rise. According to Capcom's article on the PlayStation blog, with the RE engine, you'll notice better graphics in every area of the game, opens a new tab when muscles are exercised, sweat drops will slide down the skin, and cherry blossom flowers will flutter and whirl in time with a character's movements. With this graphical overhaul, the exploding paint spatter, and the spectacular graffiti approach, Street Fighter 6 will have its own unique visual aesthetic. Every significant Capcom IP in current history, such as the future 2023 releases Pragmata and Exoprimal, has been developed on the same engine. In short, there is much to be excited about the new installment of the world's most classic arcade fighting game coming back with a potentially huge bang, which will transport hardcore fans back to the age of classics, all the while focusing on a new age portrayal of Street Fighter, which looks very promising. If you enjoyed this video, click on the like button and comment below about which other reviews you would want to watch. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.